going to show you how to make the free rosette from Kreative Kiwi. For this I'm going to be using a 4x4 hoop, 2 layers of wash away stabiliser, a matching bobbin and thread, 4 pins with heads on them, some masking tape, my squizzers, 2 pieces of ribbon, one for the hanger and the other one for the tails, and my fabrics and batting cut to size. You're going to start by hooping and pinning your 2 layers of wash away stabiliser. So place your 2 layers over the outside hoop and insert the inner. And then we're going to pin around the top edge of the hoop, the inside hoop, and that's going to prevent the stabiliser from being pulled down between the 2 hoop parts. So take a pin, any pin with a head will work, rest it on the inside hoop, push it through your 2 layers of stabiliser, bring it back round and through the stabiliser again, and that will anchor it, and you're going to do that on all 4 sides. I've loaded my matching bobbin and thread into my machine because I'm going to be using the same colour throughout. Then you want to load your file, your chosen file, into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 1, and that's going to give you your placement outline for your batting. We're now going to place our ribbons, so take your hanger, place it over the top in the centre there, with the tails to the middle, and then tape it in place. For the tails of the ribbon, I've got 1 length. I've folded it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half lengthways, and then I'm just going to cut at an angle towards the outside edges, and that's going to give me some nice shaped tails. Then I'm going to pull them apart slightly, place them over the outline at the bottom, just try and get them the right length, nice and evenly, and then I'm going to tape them in place as well. Then we're going to place our batting over the top and tape that in place too. Then you're going to pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure it all. We're now going to trim away the excess batting from around the edge of the stitch line. Take care not to cut your tails or your hanger, of course. Place your front fabric for the outside of the rosette over the outline and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 3 to secure it. We now come to placing our second fabric. If, like me, you've got a dark fabric underneath and it's going to show through, you can cut the centre out of the middle by the stitch line, and I'll show you how to do that because I'm going to do it now. I'm just going to take a stitch unpicker and just push it through the fabric and create a little slot, just enough to get my scissors in, and then I'm going to trim around the edge of the stitch line. We're now going to place our centre fabric over the middle and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 4 to secure it. Load your thread colour for the word best into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 5. Load your thread colour for the word mum, dad, whichever one you have chosen, into your machine. and then you're going to stitch round number 6. We're now going to trim away the excess fabric from around the edge of the centre, taking care of course not to cut our stitches. We're now going to pop our hoop into our machine and stitch round number 7, and that's going to zigzag around the raw edge of the centre there. Now that the zigzagging is complete, we're now going to turn the hoop over, place our backing fabric face up over the outline and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 8 to secure it. You're now going to trim away all the excess fabric from both back and front of your hoop, so turn your hoop over and trim away, taking care of course not to cut the stitches. I'm just going to adjust this piece of tape here because we're going to be doing the satin stitching next and it's going to be in the way, so I'm just going to move it up slightly. Load your matching bobbin and thread colour for the head of the rosette into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 9, and that's going to do the satin stitching. Now that all the stitching is complete, we're now going to free this from the hoop. A little tip, if you're worried about cutting off your hanger there, just pull it forward and put a little bit of tape there and you've got less risk of cutting it off when you cut it. And these ones should be big enough not to worry too much, but be mindful when you trim around, you know, not to cut them of course. If you're using thinner ribbon than I am, you can pull them up in exactly the same way and tape them down in the middle there. Okay, so let's free this from the hoop. I'm going to start where my tails are, just so that I don't forget about them. We're now going to remove the excess stabiliser from around the edge of the hoop, so take a cotton bud and some warm water, dip it in and just wipe it round the edge. I'm just going to remove the piece of tape that's holding the hanger, and that's our rosette complete. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as soon as they're published. Do pop along to Kreative Kiwi's Facebook group, there's always lots of ideas, help and inspiration there for everybody. And thank you very much for joining me. You'll find a link to this design in the video description below, along with lots of other information such as where I get my supplies and some discount codes for you as well.